Of heartbreathsoul.com. I'm an artist, a holistic healer, and a yoga teacher and yoga lover. So welcome to this intro video of just a few tips before you jump on the mat, or maybe you've done a few classes and you're wondering what the and so here I am to shed some light. Joining me is Bruno, the beautiful greyhound rescue puppy, and she is exhibiting a perfect modification of resting pose. And at any time that you need to in a class, make a modification. If you have an injury or a slight weakness or just a desire to modify it because of something that you're feeling within inside yourself, please go ahead. Please chat to the teacher before or after the class and we'll come up with something as well. Harmony is eating and resting, sleeping and waking. Balance in all you do. This is the path to peace. And these words come from the Bhagavad Gita, from the 6th century, from Hindu texts. And yoga is a Sanskrit word, and it comes from the Indian continent and traditions of Ayurvedic practices. Bliss. Where would we be without it? Seriously, I call yoga the glue of life. It makes everything slip away. It takes you into a state of bliss. It makes you realize how small the worries and ailments and things going through our mind can quite often be. Not always, but quite often we like to monkey mind it. And so here we are on the mat to melt that away. So 5 tips for yoga. Number 1 is the breath. We have the inhalation and we have the exhalation. And together they make the breath. We can't just have one or the other. We need both of them together to create that union. And yoga actually means union. It means mind, body, spirit integration into one. And breath is it's the key to everything. If you come back to the breath in life and on the mat in yoga, you realize where you're at. For instance, this morning you might have been running to the bus going late again, and you're running, so your breath's getting shorter and shallower, and you're feeling, out of shape, you're sweating, you're all sorts of things are going on for you physically and mentally. And breath is the best indicator for how you're doing, and the best technique to come back into the body and into the moment and to be mindful right now. If you're worried in an interview, in a meeting, and your head's thinking, you come back to your breath and you match the inhalation and the exhalation. So you inhale for how many ever counts it is, and the longer, the slower, the deeper, the better. So you inhale, say for 7 counts, and then you exhale and you count back down to 7. Down to 7, and creating that harmony, that balance within. Quite often the exhalation is going to be a bit less, and don't worry, especially in the Western world, you're right on the same path as everyone else, because we're so used to going to the supermarket, grabbing everything that we need, shopping online, and we really do live in very fortunate, lucky times. And so the amount that we're actually giving back energetically, physically, is generally a lot less than what we take. So this is another reason why we do yoga, to try and bring the balance within the inhalation and the exhalation, which reflects and ripples into our life and everything that we do and all that we are and all that we have to offer. Nothing much, right? Yoga is as little or as much as you want it to be. You can just come to class and do the physical postures and feel the strength and the stamina, and that's great, that's perfect. If you want to go deeper, you feel the emotional shifts and other connections, great. You just go slow, you enjoy it, you come back if you like it, and you just pursue it for your own reasons and your own purposes. absolutely a-okay. So we've got the 5 basics. So we've got the breath, and with breath, a tip. So when you're in a pose, and you're opening, so opening up, you inhale, and when you close or contract, you exhale. And then when you hold the pose, of course, you generally keep breathing in and out. You inhale when you open, exhale when you close. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to figure out if you're actually opening or closing in yoga postures, but that'll come with practice and with more tips from me as we move down this journey together, or indeed with other teachers that you choose to go to classes with. So that's the breath, which is also called pranayama. Prana is the vitality, life force, like the breath. And we have 2, which is intention. So intention is essentially like a goal, but it's kind of like a not attached to the outcome kind of goal, which is a nice way to be, because you're aiming towards something, and we all know plans change. So you have the plan and you keep going, and you just be okay with how the changes come about. So you have the intention. So you've been running for the bus this morning and you're missing it, and you get on the bus and you're like, and you're thinking to yourself, geez, I'm really not enjoying the way that I'm relating to people at the moment. I'm not really in a state of peace. I want to be at peace. And so that might be your intention that day in yoga. I am at peace. And you hold it here in your third eye, and when you try and think it and feel it as much as possible during the class, especially at times when you're holding a pose and you're feeling a bit fatigued because you're left-handed and your left side's getting a bit weak, and you go, I am at peace, and that is my goal, and that's the reason why I'm here, and that is my purpose. And you hold that extra 15 seconds, and you get to the end and you're like, yes, and you get the endorphins, the release, you get the neural pathways changing because you've done it, you didn't give in. Of course, if this wasn't fatigue and it was a sharp pain, then you give in and you relax and you rest. So that is intention. Then we have number 3, which is asana. So asana is a pose or a posture. It's the physical aspect of what we call yoga. But yoga is actually like everything. It's all of these 5 things. So if you are starting yoga, as we all are, the physical place is the easiest place to get into everything else. So we live in a physical world, and so it's great to feel strength, and it's great to feel and honour the body exactly as it is, and to not judge it, and to just go, wow, I came here to class, good for me, already winning. And yeah, and then if you want to go further, you go further. So then we come to number 4, which is meditation. And Brunor is deep in meditation at the moment, probably running through fields, chasing little rabbits that have wound up. Don't worry, no one's going to get hurt. Wind up rabbits, and she's running through fields and she's in bliss. And so meditation is here to help us integrate the mind, the body and the spirit. We've done the physical postures in the body, so we can get out of the body and we can come up into the higher places, higher chakras, up here into the mind, and to release it from whirling around and from all the to-do lists and everything like that. Meditation helps us to come into bliss. It helps us to witness ourselves and to hear messages, to tune into intuitive guidance. It helps us in this state, the waves in the brain deepen and transform, and it helps us to clear karma. It helps us to digest better, it helps release toxins, it does all of these amazing things. And sometimes during meditation we will use mantra. And ma means mind in Sanskrit, and tra is wave. So we use repetitions of words. Quite often they're Sanskrit because yoga is from India and its original language is Sanskrit, like Latin for a lot of the Western world. And so when we repeat a few words, and even you can think about it in terms of your intention, I am at peace, I am at peace, I'm at peace. You're creating that pathway, you're creating that pattern, and you're creating that vibration of I am at peace. And that's where your intention is, and that's what the energy is creating for you at that moment. So it gives our meditation and mantra gives our brains rest, because our brains are designed to think, and they think thousands of thoughts every second. It's phenomenal, and it's really quite scary. So the subconscious, I think, creates about 90% of what we think and do, and so we also use meditation to help us become more conscious and to help us choose more wisely and to snap out of these subconscious patterns that we do, which create our life, which then we wake up and go, why am I here? I don't want to be here. It's because the subconscious mind, the 90%, has been creating the 10%, has been creating your life, and it's the other way around. You want the 10%, the conscious mind, to create your life. And then we have 5, which is relaxation, also called resting pose, like Bruno. We would normally do it on our backs with our arms down by the sides with our palms up, so that the inner palm is connecting with the sun energy. You make sure you have a little blanket or pillow underneath your knees if you need the support. In cooler months, you pop on your socks, maybe Ugg boots, and you have some blankets on top. You maybe put a scarf or an eye pillow over your eyes, and you bliss out. Relaxation is also called Shavasana, and it's the most important pose in yoga. Why? And sometimes it's the most difficult, because you're surrendering, and you've got to release that crazy mind again. You've got to release and surrender to the body to allow it to process and integrate all of the beautiful work that you've done in the class. It's there to help you circulate all of the new blood and the revitalized energy and air that you're being generating. It's a time to help your hormones circulate and rebalance, and so many other cellular and chemical amazing functions. It's just the same as sleep. And the reason why sleep is so restorative and one of the best ways to heal good, deep, nourishing sleep. And a tip on that, can I suggest? Block out blinds. So good, so good. So that's the 5 tips for getting into yoga. There are a few other things. There's like chakras, these special wheels that, like cogs on a bicycle, when they're oiled and going well, they can spin, and one will talk to the next, and the energy flows through. So there's 8 of those in a basic chakra system. The root chakra, connected to the earth, connected to elimination, connected to belonging, connected to the color red. There's the sacral chakra, which is connected to emotions and creativity and sexuality, flow, and connected to the color of orange. There's the solar plexus or navel chakra, which is connected to the fire in your belly, the willpower, boundaries, saying yes and no, the fire to digest, and the connection to the color, of yellow. And then we have the heart chakra, which is connected to compassion, joy, bliss, and it is connected with pale pink and green. Then we have the throat chakra, which is the color of blue, and it's related to being able to clearly speak your mind, to compassionately and succinctly say what you need to say. The color of blue, yeah. And then we've got the third eye chakra, which is the 6th chakra, or the Ajna chakra, and it connects you to your intuition, your knowing, your your state of clarity and and the knowing eye. It's like the third eye. It enables you to see and sense things. If this is out of balance, you might be a bit depressed or confused. Then we have the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, which is kind of like all of the wheels spinning, and it flows, the energy flows, and it comes up to the chakra, the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is about the connection to that beautiful universal stars above you and everyone around you, community, and you feel that sense of oneness with everything. Then in some schools of thought for the chakra system, then there's the energetic field, which goes around your body. So all of the energy that you've been creating in a class, all of the good thoughts that you think, all of the bad thoughts that you think, everything that you eat, don't eat, all of this stuff has a frequency, and that emits the waves into the field around you. And when you do a lot of meditation, you eat well, you do good things, all those sorts of things have a higher vibration. And I think is that joy is the highest vibration of like 700 megahertz or something like that, ecstasy. And this comes around you. And what else have we got? We've got these special things called mudras, and they're like gestures. So there's Gyan mudra, where you're coming into a place of knowledge, connecting your ego and your knowledge center. One of the common gestures, mudras, for meditation. And there's lots of meridian points all around the body, and particularly in the hands and the feet where they end. So you're holding these things, these gestures, and they are tapping into these pathways as well to stimulate certain functions in the body and the mind. There are special locks, which we won't use for a while, but there's one here in the base chakra, one in the diaphragm, and one at the neck. And when we tighten the muscles in these regions, we change the direction of the cultivated energy and blood flow that we've done in a posture. So it helps us to channel the energy into certain areas and to prevent head spins and things like that. Good pain, bad pain. So this is good pain where you're getting a fatigue muscle where you just need to push through and create a new limit for yourself. Bad pain is that sharp pain. Please come into child's pose or lie flat on the mat, and hopefully the pain dissipates really quickly. And go and see a health professional after class if you're concerned, just to get it checked out to make sure nothing's wrong. And let your teacher know. We've got... So the reasons for doing yoga are for that integration of body, mind and spirit. It's generally done in bare feet. I feel cold in winter, so I generally wear socks. And you do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, and it's your practice, so you're ultimately here for the reasons that you're here for, and to get whatever you want to get from it. Props are optional. I sit on a pillow. There's a mat, obviously. Sometimes you use pillows to support your body, blocks and bolsters, but you don't really need this stuff. You can just roll up blankets and towels and things that you have at home as well. Yoga increases health, stability, flexibility, stability mentally and emotionally, strength, stamina of the joints, muscles and organs. It reduces stress, as you can see here. Brignole's totally zenned out. It reduces depression and stagnation. Ooh, she heard me. And stagnation shows up if you can't get out of bed in the morning, you feel a bit fatigued, you might not like your job, or you've got problems in your home, constipation or digestive issues, for instance. It increases relaxation and good vibes, immunity, happiness, productivity, and enhances your sleep. It helps us manage and heal